All right, today we're building something pretty cool. We're making an app that looks at a picture of an outfit, something you'd wear, and it gives it instant feedback. What's the vibe here? What's a quick tip to make it better? And maybe even a fun comment to go with it. We're building this app two ways, side by side. On the left, we have Gemini AI's prompt database. We're gonna put that in the Firebase Studio. And the other version is going to be ChatGPT, also going to prompt inside Firebase Studio. And we generated these two sets of prompts in each one of these tools, ChatGPT tool and the Gemini tool. And you get to see how they compare in Firebase Studio and what each AI gives you, how the code looks, and what the results feel like. Quick thing to know before we start, I connected to Gemini API. I'm going to connect to Gemini API here in a little bit. And that comes with the Google One plan. And that's a $10 a month tier, same one you might already have for extra storage or perks. And you should be able to get that at least for the first month for free. And with that, you can use Gemini's AI inside Firebase Studio. It's fast, easy to set up, and the rate limit's about 60 requests a minute. It's going to be fine for this kind of app. Just something to keep in mind if you plan to build this into something bigger. Okay, let's get into prompt one and start building. And you can see we're laying the foundation. We're building the bones of the app, just the basic structure. On the Gemini side, we ask it to, and that's going to be on the left, we ask it to set the next.js 14 app, use the app router for page layout, add Tailwind CSS for styling, and set up the two-column layout. Left side is going to be for uploading photos, and the right side is going to be for AI feedback in that two-column. So let's go ahead and break it down. We use the next.js 14 because it's clean, fast, and it works with React out of the box. The app router is what organizes the app. It lets us have a layout file that wraps the whole page, so we don't repeat headers and footers over and over, and the page file where the main content lives. That's going to be smart because it keeps everything in the right place, and if you've ever been in a messy project, you know how important that's going to be. Then we have Tailwind CSS. Tailwind's like a toolbox for styling, padding, fonts, colors, all in little class names. So instead of writing custom CSS, you just stack these classes on your HTML and your layout comes together pretty fast. Now, when we drop the prompt in a Firebase Studio, we did watch what happened. The folders and files generate automatically. We get the layout.tsx, the page.tsx, and Tailwind config file and the CSS. The home page has a big simple header, AI outfit vibe check, front and center, and a two-column layout. Left side is for uploading a photo, right side is where the AI feedback will show up. It's all semantic as well, meaning the code isn't just div after div. We've got proper HTML tags, main, section, header, which makes it more readable and better for screen readers as well. And then on the GPT side, the layout feels a bit more playful. On the right, it's got a splash of color, maybe even looks like it has some placeholders for features like save, bookmarks, and share, even though they're not wired up yet. Both sides give us a solid starting point. Gemini feels a bit more structured, and ChatGPT's got a bit more design flair, but they both give us what we need. A simple, clean page, two columns ready for action, or the up and down column if it's spread out like that. Looks like it can go two columns, but we're going to keep it spread out. All right, prompt 2 is where we add the AI brain to our app. We create a new file, generate vibecheck.ts, inside the src/AI/flows folder. This is our AI function. We set up a Zod input schema that expects an image in base64 format. Then we define a Zod output schema, 3 fields. Vibe, it's going to be a short, punchy description of the style. Suggestion, it's going to be one actionable tip. And comment, it's going to be a witty, fun remark. We connect this flow to Gemini Vision using GenKit's Google AI plugin. This handles everything under the hood. So when we call this function later, it sends the image to Gemini and we get a clean structured JSON response back. Vibe, suggestion, comment, all ready to use. And that's pretty much it for prompt 2. We'll wire it up to the front end in prompt 3. All right, so here's where we start to refine the entire look and feel of the app in prompt 3. On the Gemini side, we're making a bold visual shift. This is the dark theme transformation. We head into our globals.css and layout.tsx files and start defining the color variables that will power the entire app style. First, we set a very dark, desaturated blue as the page background, something like hashtag 1A202C. The main content cards, where the app displays key information, gets a dark slate gray background around a hashtag 2D3748. For text, we use crisp white, like hashtag all Fs, or a subtle light silver like hashtag E2E8FO. And then we add a primary accent color, a refined teal. That teal is what gives the app a little pop, especially against the dark backdrop. And if you want that hashtag, it's 4FD1C5. We apply the background and text color classes across the entire app by updating the layout.tsx. This makes sure the dark theme is consistent everywhere. The body background goes dark. All text and content areas follow the new color scheme. Next, we update the main content cards. It gets a background of BG card, text color set to text card foreground, and a thin 1 pixel border using the teal accent, making each card stand out just enough without feeling too busy. As we build, you'll see the visual shift. The background darkens, the cards get that subtle teal edge, and the text contrasts cleanly against the deep blue-gray canvas. It's subtle, but it makes the app feel sleek, modern, and premium. The entire design feels refined, a space where AI meets style with just a little confidence. Now on the ChatGPT side, we keep the light theme. The background stays white, the text black. It feels lighter, friendlier, maybe a bit more playful, more like an early stage prototype, while Gemini is aiming for a polished product look. So by the end of this prompt, you really start to see the contrast. Gemini's side is taking on a sharp, dark theme with subtle accents and clean modern UI. ChatGPT is keeping things simple, light, and focused on the core experience. And that wraps up prompt 3. Let's move on to prompt 4, where we finally get the AI working behind the scenes. Let's go. This step is all about upgrading the AI's brain power, making it smarter, more detailed, and more helpful. On the Gemini side, we open up the generative vibe check.ts file and expand the Zod schema, basically telling the AI to give us more detailed answers. We're asking it for things like a colored palette with hex codes, occasion suggestions like date, night, or weekend, style keywords, a confidence booster, even an alter ego name, plus a trend reflection and a creative outfit storyline. This way, we turn a simple vibe check into a rich style breakdown. On the ChatGPT side, we're still at vibe, suggestion, comment, nice, but simpler. No major visual changes yet, but we're laying the foundation for a much smarter AI system. So let's keep moving. Prompt 5 is up next. All right, this is prompt 5, where we take the raw AI data and turn it into a real polished user experience. Let's see how Gemini and ChatGPT approach this. On the Gemini side, the focus is on clarity and efficiency. We open up vibecheckform.tsx and we add well-defined sections for each AI feedback field. Color palette, what it's perfect for, some style keywords, confidence boost, alter ego option, level up with option, trend reflection, outfit storyline, and outfit mood. Gemini's styling is refined, a deep slate background, light text, and teal accents. Everything is tight. The color swatches are small, precise circles. The tags are spaced evenly, readable at a glance. The layout feels like a professional dashboard. It's data first, no unnecessary fluff. This is Gemini's strength. It delivers a consistent, no-nonsense structure. It's like working with a tool that's reliable, predictable, and built for focus, like a little engineer. Now on the ChatGPT side, we see a different style, same fields, same sections, but the tone feels more expressive. Color swatches, a bit larger, brighter, more inviting. The tags, they have a slight glow on hover with looser spacing that feels casual and fun. The alter ego field, the ChatGPT styles it to stand out, slightly bigger, bold teal text, adding a sense of personality. This is ChatGPT's strength. It makes the UI feel human-centered. The choices, hover effects, spacing, typography are all designed to draw users in, create a sense of engagement, and make them feel like the app is somewhat part of them or talking to them. Both sides also handle missing data gracefully. If a field isn't generated, the UI skips it. No awkward gaps, no errors. The scrollable arrow works The scrollable area works the same. Thin, dark track, neon thumb, clean and intuitive. And here's a key takeaway. Gemini will build a precise professional experience, perfect for users who want structure, clarity, and a system they can trust. ChatGPT builds an engaging, approachable experience, ideal for users who want personality, energy, and a UI that feels more like a personal assistant. Both styles are pretty valid, two different design philosophies serving two different user needs. Let's keep moving. Prompt 6 is up next, where we'll deepen the AI's analytical power. Firebase Studio is doing great though. All right, moving to prompt 6, we're adding a small but important piece of the puzzle, what we call a conceptual placeholder for a future feature. Think of this as scaffolding for ideas, a place we can build on later without overcomplicating the current application. So here's what we're doing. Right under the AI feedback section, we create a new Ask the Style Oracle block. This is only visible when the AI feedback is already showing, meaning it won't clutter the page if a user hasn't uploaded an image yet. Inside this new section, we add a simple title, Ask the Style Oracle, style to match the app's overall design. On the chic vibe side, that's the ChatGPT build, it pops with a subtle neon accent. On the Scope AI side, Gemini's build, it's a bit more reserved, leaning into a muted, structured tone. That's a vibe difference we've seen throughout. ChatGPT often adds these little flourishes while Gemini keeps it more systematic. Next, we drop in a text area, just a small rounded box where the users can type in questions. The placeholder text says something like, how else can I style these boots? An example that's casual, open-ended, and encourages curiosity. The styling, it's dark themed, soft edged, and has a slight focus ring when you click on it. Pretty clean on both builds, though I'd say the ChatGPT side has slightly more playful phrasing, while Gemini keeps it formal and precise. Then we finish this multi-feature with a submit question button. It's a secondary action, so it's not the flashy call to action like get vibe check. It's smaller, subtle, and it's styled consistently. Dark background, light text, rounded corners, and slight hover effect. Now here's the key, it doesn't do anything yet. Right now, clicking the button just triggers a small toast message that will say, thanks for your question, live Oracle chat coming soon. It's a placeholder. So we're signaling that this feature will eventually allow users to ask more detailed follow-up questions about their outfit, maybe things like, what shoes should I wear this with, or can I dress this up for a night out? What's cool is that both builds handle this slightly different ways. Gemini's Scope AI is precise, clear layout, predictable logic, consistent placement. ChatGPT's chic vibe is a little bit more fun and inviting. The colors pop just a bit more, and the copy feels a little more human. So this is where we're future-proofing the app, leaving room for growth while still delivering a clean, usable experience in the current build. That wraps up prompt 6, a small UI addition, but it hints at what's next. All right, let's move into prompt 7, where we build out the AI's feedback display. All right, let's move into prompt 7, where we bring the AI's output to life on the screen. This is where everything starts to feel real for the user, where they get to see their AI's stylus feedback in a way that's both functional and visually engaging. So here's what we're building. We're optimizing the AI feedback rendering inside our vibe check form.tsx. This means taking all the JSON fields generated by our AI, whether it's from Gemini or ChatGPT, and transforming them into clean, structured, and easy to read sections. We've got clear segments like vibe summaries, style suggestions, color palette, trend reflections, confidence boosters, and some more. Each section gets its own space with consistent typography icons and spacing. The goal is to guide the user's eyes naturally across the feedback instead of overwhelming them with raw data. For visuals, we're adding color swatches for the palette, small circular chips that reflect the AI's color suggestions, style tags for keywords, little badges and quotes that make the feedback feel alive, not just a wall of text. And the UI is fully responsive, looks clean on desktop, tablet, or mobile. Behind the scenes, we've got a dynamic rendering logic that ensures everything flows smoothly. Loading states, errors, and partial data are all handled gracefully. If a field is missing from the AI response, the app doesn't break, it just hides that section. Now, in terms of differences, Gemini's output is typically more structured and precise. Think of it as a professional report. Everything's clean and data-driven. ChatGPT's output tends to feel a bit more playful. It might even throw in a quirky phrase or unique nickname for your style, giving it a touch of personality. But here's the thing, both approaches work well in this UI. Whether you prefer Gemini's structure or ChatGPT's flair, this feedback display is designed to handle both seamlessly. And that's prompt 7, turning raw AI data into a user-friendly, stylish experience. All right, let's move on to prompt 8, where we scaffold the personalized style profile page. This page is all about letting users define their style DNA, their favorite colors, styles, fits, and occasions they care about. We start by creating a new route, /style-profile. It's simple, dark themed, and consistent with the rest of the app. At the top, we drop in a bold header, define your style DNA. Below that, we add interactive input fields, clickable tags for styles like minimalist or streetwear, a grid of color swatches for favorite colors, and drop downs or checkboxes for fits and occasions. The Save My Style DNA button is there, but at this stage, it's just visual. We're not wiring it up just yet. That'll come later. So for now, it's just a static profile page, a simple visual starting point for building personalized AI features in the future. All right, and here a quick note before we jump in. If you're watching closely, you might notice something a little out of order on the Gemini side. I'm actually going to accidentally run prompt 10 before prompt 9, just the way the flow played out while I was building it live, but no worries. We're still going to walk through both prompts, and we'll stick to the correct order here in the voiceover, starting with prompt 9. So what prompt 9 is going to be about adding that AI-powered scenario solver. It's going to be a clean, focused page where the user can type something like wedding in Italy, or tech startup interview, and then it'll give you like a custom outfit suggestion generated right on the spot. On the Gemini side, this was implemented with a super simple layout. Okay, we've got the headline for clarity, single input box for scenario, a generate outfit button, and then 3 placeholder cards below for the AI to fill in. Gemini's approach here feels a lot like product design for utility. No distractions, no fluff, just input, button, output. It's kind of an interface that lets the AI results do the talking. Now on the GPT side, we built the same concept, but with a slightly more elevated presentation. Prompt 9 gives us a warm title, your scenario styled, a rounded input field with floating labels, a button with soft hover glow, and then output cards with a bit more visual flair, like emojis, confidence scores, and compact color hints. The structure is the same, but the tone is a bit different. Gemini feels like a back-end engineer built it, and GPT feels like a designer teamed up with a product marketer. Both work. It's just about what kind of experience you're aiming to give the user. Now moving into prompt 10, the idea is to add the remix this look feature. Let's say the user gets results they like, but they want a variation, and prompt 10 can help make that type of variation possible. So we added that remix button below each AI suggestion card. Excuse me. You're going to click it and the system re-rolls the outfit based on the same scenario, injecting just enough randomness to feel fresh without losing that context. For Gemini, the button is dead simple. It's going to be, excuse me guys, it's going to be a square minimal outline with a clear label. It's going to be like function over fashion. For ChatGPT, the button is part of the visual story, really. Rounded corners, soft animation on hover, a tooltip that says spin again. Little touches. They help reinforce the personality of the app. So while both sides give the same capability, the Gemini version is direct and logic first, while GPT version adds nuance and charm. That wraps up 9 and 10. We'll go to prompt 11 for the final polish. Let's go. Okay, here we are, prompt 11, the final stretch. At this point, both builds are fully functional. We've got AI image input, dynamic feedback, custom theming, UI layouts, and layered interactions. But this last prompt, this is where we seal the deal. It's about polish and how each AI defines done. Let's start with Gemini. Prompt 11 on the Gemini side is a quiet but powerful finish. It doesn't shout, but if you look closely, you'll notice how everything feels just tighter. The padding and spacing are adjusted across the board. Everything breathes just right. Theming is now fully consistent. Whether you're in light or dark mode, it flows. And there's fallback logic built in, so if the AI misses a key or the data hiccups, the app still works very cleanly. There's no big animation or flashy transitions here, but that's the point. Gemini finishes the app like a disciplined engineer, silent perfection. It's all about stability, predictability, and professionalism. If this app went live tomorrow, Gemini's version would be clean, scalable, and easy to maintain. Now let's shift over to GPT's build. Here in Firebase, it's the same final prompt, but totally different feel. Right away, you notice a slick skeleton loader when the AI is thinking, light motion effects on results cards as they appear, and a final UI sweep that includes dynamic shadows, soft glow accents, and even a subtle sound cue if you add those in later. ChatGPT's idea of polish is more about the emotional response. It's like you tapped a button, now let me show you something that makes you smile. It's not better or worse than Gemini, it's just sort of more expressive, more engagement facing, I'd say. Like it's prepping the app for human interaction, not just like a code base. I guess they're both prepping it for human interaction, but I suppose GPT's build just feels more easier to follow, even though it doesn't show like little color swatches, I'd say, as my wife would say, color swatches. Okay, and that's the beauty of both builds, of both sides. You don't just get apps, you get the story of how two totally different AI minds would finish it. And then Gemini ends with like a confident handshake, clean, done, production ready. ChatGPT ends with a wink. It's like memorable, warm, a little extra something. But I'd say Gemini is definitely production ready. Whereas ChatGPT could go, this one on the right could maybe go for more of a bubblier effect. Then I can just kind of go through this folder of pictures I have here, and this is the older lady and two different sides here, and you can see the suggestions on the left and a little different from the analysis on the right. All right, so now that all 11 prompts are in, let's take a moment and step back from the build itself. What you're seeing on screen right now are some of the AI generated character visuals that were created earlier in ChatGPT, and it should show us like a little bit of how the app works. Neither Gemini nor ChatGPT is trying to replace a designer, but both give you enough structure to build around. Let's talk about what we actually built on each side. The Gemini version is smooth, stable. Feels like it was designed with long-term manageability in mind. Everything it outputs is consistent. The responses are clear. The interface holds together nicely. The logic stays predictable. Whether you're using GenKit or playing Firebase tools, it doesn't really try to surprise you. And that can be a very good thing when you're iterating fast. Then there's the GPT version, same prompts, styles, same platform, but it has a different feel. Not better, not worse, just different. ChatGPT tends to give responses that are more conversational. The UI feels a bit looser, maybe a touch more expressive. It handles edge cases creatively. Sometimes it tries to be helpful in ways you didn't expect, which can either be clever or off target depending on your goal. But here's the key takeaway: they both built the app. We didn't write the code. We didn't wire up complicated databases, even though we could here in Firebase. We'll do that at another time. We use two AI tools with prompt-only instructions in real time on this one. And we got two complete working versions of the same idea. It's not really like that. It's not really that hard to do, and that's the shift on how some things are built nowadays. So we need to build more broader. Prompt-driven app development isn't some niche experiment, I don't think, really anymore. It's pretty much a legitimate skill, I think, a workflow, something that anyone watching can pick up and start running with. And what I hope you notice there, it isn't who there between these two, there isn't really a winner. It's not about choosing which one of these tools are the best out here. It's about seeing how different tools think. Gemini might, for instance, here might stick to structure, and GPT can lean more into nuance, but together they show you two valid ways to solve the same problem. And if you're watching this, that should be the exciting part, because it means your tools aren't a limitation, they're just options. Now, if you've got anything useful out of this, I'd love if you take a second to like the video. It really does help push this out to more developers, designers, and builders just like you. And if you want to dive deeper into builds like this, real projects, real AI, real workflows, just subscribe. There's plenty more coming, more tools, more comparisons, more experiments. Big thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna go chase my kids now. Goodbye.